Hello students of class 7. This is your geography class and today I will discuss about a new chapter and that is river. So let's start. Rivers have often been described as the lifeblood of the earth. Rivers are essential for our agriculture, industry, transportation system, trade, even our human civilization. Rivers have been of fundamental importance throughout human history. In this chapter, an attempt is made to discuss about river. So you have to know what is river or how rivers are being defined. A channel of running water from higher or hilly areas to the plains, finally joining a sea or lake, is known as river. Many small mountainous streams flowing from different directions meet and flow along a channel, following the natural slope of land from higher to lower grounds to form a river. So, the water comes from the melting of ice or glaciers or from rainwater that flow through a channel from higher ground to the lower ground under the influence of gravity, and this running water is known as river. And the place where river originates is known as source. So you have to know the definition of source. I am repeating this again, that the place where river originates or develop is known as source of river. For example, our main river is Ganga, and Ganga is originate from Gomukh in Gangotri glacier. So Gomukh in Gangotri glacier is the source of Ganga river, and the place where river ends is known as mouth, or rather I should say the place where river terminates or confluence is known as mouth of the river. For example, Bay of Bengal is the mouth of the river Ganga, as Ganga ends its flowing in Bay of Bengal. So, a river is a natural channel of flowing water and that flows from its source to its mouth according to the slope of the land and under the influence of gravity. This natural flowing of water is known as river. When it is small in size, it is called stream. When it is big in size or large in size, it is called as rivers. And I am giving you some example of rivers all over the world. Nile in Africa is a river which have a length about 6,650 kilometers. The main river of South America is Amazon. It is about 6,400 kilometers in length. The longest river in Asia is Yangtze, and it is about 6,300 kilometers in length. Mississippi, Missouri is a famous river in North America. The length of Mississippi is about 3,730 kilometers, and the length of Missouri is about 3,770 kilometers. The main river of Oceania is Murray Darling, and the length of it is about 3,375 kilometers. Volga is the main river of Europe, and its length is about 3,530 kilometers. So these are the main rivers all over the world. In your textbook, there have a map. You should follow this map. Now I am telling you about the tributaries and distributaries. The rivers that merge with the main river and its source is different, it is known as tributary. A stream that flows into a larger stream or river, it is known as the tributary of that main stream or river. For example, Yamuna is the tributary of Ganga river. And now I am telling about the distributary. A stream originating from a main river and its mouth is somewhere else is known as distributary, or a river branching out from another river and having mouth somewhere else is known as distributary. For example, Bhagirathi Hooghly is a famous distributary of Ganga river. Another distributary is Padda, and it is in Bangladesh. Now I am telling you about how rivers are being formed. Okay. So you have to know about the concept of catchment area. In this segment, I want to say that many small streams or flow of water that comes from the rainwater or from ice melting drained through several small channels to form big rivers. So, some small channels finally form a big rivers. Apart from the channels where the main river is connected with local water bodies of an area over which it is flowing is known as the catchment area of the river. And this catchment area is always have in the source of the river. So at the place where river originates, some small channels merge together to form a big river, And the area where these small channels are formed is known as catchment area. So, in the catchment area, a big river or a main river originates. Okay, and after originating this river, it flows according to the gravity from higher land to the lower land, and it merges in the mouth, or it terminates, ends its flow in the mouth. So thus a river formed. So you have to prepare the catchment area in your text copy, and you have to draw the figure of catchment area. Okay. Now I am telling you about the watershed or doab. The peak of the highland divides the rainwater and makes parts of it flow in different directions. Thus, many small rivers or streams developed in both sides of the divider. After some times, they join together and form main river channels. So that highland which divides the flowing of water is known as watershed or doab. I am repeating it again. The peak of the highland divides the rainwater and it makes part of the flow in different directions. Thus, many small rivers or smalls developed in both sides of the divider or both sides of the highland. And after some times, these small rivers join together and form main river. And the highland that divides the flowing of water in its own channel is known as watershed. In small scale, it is called as doab. For example, Ganga and Yamuna flow parallelly up to Allahabad, and the upland in between these two streams is known as watershed or doab. As it is highland, so Yamuna and Ganga cannot merge at their source region. In Allahabad, they merge together. Okay, and the highland that divides Ganga and Yamuna is known as watershed. Chotanagpur Plateau also play a role as watershed between Ganga river and Mahanadi. Okay. Now I am telling you about the river valley. The low lying area through which river flows from source to mouth is known as river basin. So river basin, sorry, known as river valley. So the river valley is that area through which river runs from its source to its mouth. These low-lying areas, particularly the low-lying areas, is known as river valley. It may be U-shaped, it may be V-shaped. Okay. Now I am telling you about the river basin. River basin is that whole area that drained by the family of a river along with all its tributaries and all its distributaries is known as a river basin. So river basin is referred to that area which is served by the main river and its tributaries and its distributaries. And now I am telling you about the inland river. Inland rivers are that rivers which have its mouth in an inland water body or inland lake or in inland swamp. For example, Luni in India, Amur in Russia is the inland river, and another river type is international river. And international rivers are those which flows a long distance, cover two or more countries, and its source is in another country and its mouth is in another country. So the rivers that cover two or more country is known as international rivers. For example, Brahmaputra is an example of international river. And now I am telling you about the perennial river and non-perennial river. Perennial rivers are those which have water throughout the year, or perennial rivers are those rivers fed by the water from melting of glaciers or rainwater, and thus it has water, flowing water in its valley or in its basin throughout the year. These type of rivers are known as perennial river. For example, our Ganga river is a perennial river, and in map perennial rivers are marked as blue line, and the rivers that are originates from low lying areas and fed by only rainwater, these type of rivers have much water in the rainy season but dries in the summer season. These type of rivers are known as non-perennial rivers, and in map these rivers are marked through black line. And Damodar, Rupnarayan, Ajoy, these rivers are example of non-perennial rivers. So our today's discussion is about rivers and some geographical terms regarding rivers. You may prepare your you should prepare your study from your textbook. I think this discussion will help you. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.